Hello everyone. I'm Ryo Suzuki, a master student from Keio University. Today, I'll present our work named On the Realism of LiDAR Spoofing Attacks Against Autonomous Driving Vehicle at High Speed and Long Distance. I'll present the first part, then Yuki will present the later part. This is a joint work with Professor Alfred and his student Takami from UC Irvine. LiDAR plays a critical role in autonomous vehicle, providing high-resolution 3D point cloud data for precise object detection. In fact, companies like Waymo and Zoox rely heavily on LiDAR as their primary sensor. Let me first briefly explain how TOF LiDAR works. LiDAR scans the environment by emitting lasers. Once a laser hits an object, LiDAR receives the reflection light from the object. LiDAR can know the distance based on the flight time of the laser, since light speed is constant. Combining this with distance with the laser angle, LiDAR can know where the object is. This is how TOF LiDAR works. However, this design makes TOF LiDAR vulnerable to external lasers, enabling LiDAR spoofing attacks. Attackers use lasers to inject fake objects or remove real ones from the LiDAR's data. With removal attacks, vehicles may fail to detect obstacles potentially leading to collisions. This is a significant threat and much research has been done on it. And as you can see in the left figure, previous studies have shown that real-world the removal attacks works in the real world. However, they mainly focused on stationary setups, unlike real-world scenarios. So, based on our survey, we identified 3 key limitations hindering real-world demonstrations of the attacks. I'll explain these limitations one by one in the following slides. First, some studies show the attack against moving vehicles, but are limited to low speed, around 5 kilometers per hour, and 15 meters, and it is close-range scenarios. These conditions don't represent realistic autonomous driving scenarios. This limitation arises primarily from the lack of practical detection and tracking system. Secondly, no prior work has performed the closed-loop evaluations against real autonomous vehicles, leaving the actual threat unclear. Prior studies haven't used dedicated laser systems designed for stable attacks against moving targets. This has constrained their evaluations to standalone LiDAR sensors rather than fully integrated AV systems. Let's now consider the previous researches from a different perspective. New generation LiDARs feature advanced interference rejection, like pulse fingerprinting, and as shown in this figure. This verifies the return pulses, and it makes these LiDARs more resistant to LiDAR spoofing attack, as shown on the right figure. However, there is still a lack of security studies on recent LiDARs, leaving potential vulnerabilities unclear. Motivated by these limitations, we pursued the following research question. Can LiDAR spoofing attacks actually have end-to-end safe impacts in practical AD scenarios? Next, I'll introduce our contributions. Our work can be divided into the following 3 parts. I'll start by describing our attack system designed for LiDAR spoofing or moving vehicle. Our attack system, the moving vehicle spoofing system, MVS system enables stable tracking of MVs, moving vehicles. The attack process follows a sequence: LiDAR detection, aiming, and then laser projection. To achieve this, it has three subsystems. I'll now explain how each one works. First, we have detection and tracking system. This system detects the LiDAR positions with high accuracy, even at long distances, using an infrared camera. Normal cameras, often used in prior work, struggle with long-range detection because LiDARs appears too small. We overcome this by using infrared camera equipped with a bandpass filter matched to the LiDAR's wavelength. This enables direct, stable LiDAR detection at long distance. In fact, our test revealed that a normal camera failed to detect LiDAR beyond 10 meters. In contrast, our IR camera-based detection maintains stable LiDAR detection even at 20 meters. Next, we have auto-aiming system and spoofing system. These systems emit attack lasers towards the target vehicle's LiDAR. Our device uses the two parallel lasers with 2-inch lenses. Although the previous subsystem minimized the angular errors, road vibrations can cause deviations. To counter this, our parallel laser system covers an area more than 100 times larger than that of prior works. Furthermore, the use of a high-precision servo motor for aiming enhances the stability of continuous attacks.
Next, I'll describe our second contribution, introducing a novel removal attack against new-gen LiDARs. Some new-gen LiDARs have the security feature called pulse fingerprinting. Unlike first-gen LiDARs, they authenticate their received signals by using a unique signal shapes for each ranging. Consequently, this feature can eliminate malicious signals from conventional spoofing attacks. Here is an example of the spoofing attacks against new-gen LiDARs with pulse fingerprinting. A-HFR, one of the removal attacks, projects malicious signals at random times. But A-HFR can only project a few pulses for each LiDAR's ranging. So with pulse fingerprinting enabled, these pulses are rejected by the LiDAR, causing the attack to fail. However, our investigation revealed a vulnerability in current pulse fingerprinting implementation. We found that projecting many laser pulses can bypass their authentication. I'll explain how the attacker bypasses their authentication. Current authentication relies solely on pulse intervals, but the group of malicious pulses contains multiple intervals. So if there are enough pulses, they at least one of the pairs can bypass their authentication. To realize this strategy, we designed a novel removal attack called adaptive A-HFR. This conventional A-HFR is limited by the spoofers overheating. Conversely, adaptive A-HFR adaptively changes attack frequencies. Adaptive A-HFR only attacks when the LiDAR is scanning the target, and rest of time it cools down the spoofer. We present a comparison of attacks against a commercial new LiDAR HESI 8128. As a result, HFR blurs the person shape, but it remains identifiable. However, adaptive HFR can remove the person's point cloud almost entirely. And we can also attack outdoors and can remove the car, as you can see. Finally, we describe the third contribution, conducting spoofing attack in real-world scenarios. The vehicle travels up to 60 kilometers, and the spoofer on the roadside tries to remove the victim's point cloud. As a result, the attacker can remove the victim's point cloud, as you can see. At 40 meters, we can remove this, so you can see. We also experimented end-to-end attack evaluation with Autoware.ai, which is a popular AD stack. This is a down video of the end-to-end evaluation. Under the attack condition, the AD vehicle is not recognize the fake car and crash into the car, as you can see. So we have some limitations, for example, deployment cost and attack on uneven roads. And possible countermeasures, for example, availability check and ensuring redundancy by multi-sensor fusion. Here is a conclusion. We studied LiDAR spoofing attacks in practical scenarios, and we designed a novel MVS system and introducing a novel removal attack adaptive HFR. We hope this work contributes to developing more secure AD systems. Thank you for listening.
Okay, do you have any question? You can stand up and come to the mic. Before that, so while they are thinking about the question, can we say the adaptive, not so, what was it? The pulse fingerprinting? Can we say the pulse fingerprinting as authentication or just a randomizing?
It's authentication mechanism, and
I think it's just a randomization to reduce some of the attacks, isn't it? I mean, from the cryptographic perspective, I mean, you cannot say it as actual authentication system, isn't it?
Sorry. Its authentication mechanism is...
Alfred is leaving the student struggle. Yeah. You can come up and speak at the mic. Oh, okay, it's on now. Did you turn it on?
I think it should be the authentication because the randomization only shoot the one laser for one measurement, right? But this is for the authentication. They shoot a couple of laser for one measurement, and they change the interval of the pairs of the laser, and this interval is as we can see, it's different for each time.
Okay, then how does I didn't get the actual how the adaptive attack works. Can you explain how the adaptive attack works? Is this the adaptive attack? So you basically send the attack frequency more frequent so that basically all of your signals getting in, right? So this is not considered to be adaptive. It's more exhaustive attack rather than. And there's a next question, actually. Can you, yeah.
Very great presentation. Thank you. This is Xu Gui from Louisiana State University. So I actually have two questions. So one is that we know LiDAR is very expensive, and a lot of the vehicles do not have LiDAR anymore. For example, Tesla and most of the other manufacturers of the vehicles. So how do you justify your motivation or select of your attack target? And my second is, since this is very effective attack, do you have any suggestions to defend against these attacks? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Sorry, can you repeat the first question?
It's basically about the cost of this LiDAR. It's expensive, and a lot of the vehicles, they do not equip with it anymore. So they only has camera, for example. They do not have LiDAR. So how do you justify your motivation of your work? And how do you, maybe in a real-world implementation, or how do you select your attack target?
We believe that LiDAR is a trivial sensor for autonomous driving that that can sense the 3D environment. So
Can you, Ningfei, can you prepare for your presentation? Can you come out?
So we target the LiDAR.
I think we should take it offline.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Ask the first author.
Sorry.
All right, let's thank the speaker. And